All right. All right. Everybody got so we're good to go. Oh man. As I always say, I can run 10, 15 miles, be fine, but these stairs. Oh, that gets you.
I guess only one of you much part of you.
I did see Crystal's email. I didn't know. No, I just didn't respond because I just haven't. I don't think she's gonna pass the talk, so it doesn't matter. I think she knows that. Wait, who's I didn't schedule this one first. Oh, let's see. Today's 5A. Tisha, where's Tisha? Jay, where's Jay? Is Jay not here? Oh, Jay left already, didn't he?
He went home, yeah.
Yeah, go on, Jay. Okay, that's awesome. All right, so we'll do Tisha and TV and then Andrew Jackson. Andrew Jackson. Ha, ha, ha.
No, piece of shit.
At least you're the president.
He was a character, wasn't he?
Not a good man.
So you know what's really interesting? And this is something I think about a lot, because like Trump was clearly empirically a horrible president for this country. But his being so bad helped me learn about some of our other really crappy presidents, like Andrew Jackson and Andrew Johnson. I don't know if y'all looked at Andrew Johnson, but he
What's the Andrew?
Just Andrew.
Andrew.
yeah, all Andrews are just the worst. So it was really interesting because like
I agree.
they were like, you see all these articles that are like, oh yeah, Trump did this, and that's really bad, but look what Andrew Johnson did. And it's true, it was so much worse. And I was like, holy crap, how did I not learn about all these horrible things that Andrew Johnson did? Like, the whole history class could have just been about the horrible things he said and did as president.
What were one of them?
So you know how, hey, there he is. You know how, Trump would go on these like racist, rants, right? Well, Andrew Johnson would do the same.
And then he would imprison and send Native Americans.
Oh, he probably did that too. But I was talking about this one instance. He did that to a room full of people, and they got so mad that he just like fled. He like had to leave the room and be taken away because people were gonna like kill him. So we didn't get that bad, but what's that, Seaborn?
A lot of stairs.
Yes. Let's go ahead and start with Where's Tisha?
Lucas and T-shirt downstairs. I told him, but I don't know if he was in the paragraph.
Oh, there she is. Tisha, you're first. UNPD. I sent out the schedule days ago. Let's go. Come on. We got to get through this.
Yeah, we did.
Yes. If you want. I was going to have you all do it just separately. If you wanted to do it with you. Okay, yeah, just tell them. I'll do it later. I appreciate you helping her out, but all right, PBTJ, let's go. The floor is yours. Do you guys need the TV? Do you project something? Okay. Good to. Which computer are you plugging into?
That one has any questions?
Well, never mind. Well, I've got at least this though. If you've got the. Oh yeah, that one does it. Yeah, but this one. Well, it also has a fire.
I don't know where my pointer is. But that's okay.
Jeez. In that case, let's see. Hey, is it a Google? Okay, then you can share it with us. That's what you can do. Go post it in Canvas and share it with us.
Where?
Huh?
Where?
Anywhere.
That's an airplane.
Okay, go to announcements. And yeah, reply to that. There you go. All right, everybody. So they're going to, and actually I kind of prefer this over just having it present. If you go to the announcement I made on Monday or Sunday. So go to Canvas, go to announcements, and where it says schedule for demo week, there is a response to that, and that is where they're going to post the Google slide so we can read along. Theo, you're still in here, right? Where did Theo go?
Yes. I'm not seeing it.
Well, he was. It was you, Jay? Hey, well,
Hello, Mr.
come on,
Blake.
man.
Oh.
Did you guys post it? Awesome. So if you go to this week's again, it's scheduled demo week. They posted the thing there. Could you guys have permission so we can view it? Set permission so we can view it. Like go to the doc if you want to make the site itself. Pull it up on it. Share. Change pricing tool, and then let's just change it to.
I didn't want to blank.
Here we go. That's better.
Wait, where do they share it?
All right, so
Go to the doc. The slide.
go to schedule for demo week, and then you'll see a response post. Right. The floor is y'all's. What?
Oh, I have to come on.
Yes, there.
Okay, so. So the name of the company, I know it's something real estate. Yeah, and they want more projects and a talented employee. So their needs are a better website because our website is very, it's very bad. And it takes you to the same thing, regardless of what you click on. So those are the needs involved. And what they could do. They could contact the company that created the website and request for an edit. They could find other coding companies to work with, such as FPT, CMC, and MISA.
It's in like Vietnam.
Yeah. And they can create websites by themselves using platforms like Wix and Google. Yeah. We're done.
Tell me about this company. What was your how did you get to this company?
So he's my dad's friend.
Okay, tell me about the interviews. Like, what were those? What were those like?
What do you mean?
I mean, like, tell me about the interviews.
Uh,
Were they smooth? Were they easy?
he doesn't look nice, and then he's kind of like very sweet and care about whatever he wants to do, blah, blah. And he answered everything. And interesting fact that I found from him is like he doesn't really choose business because he wanted to, but because it makes him a lot of money and he's so poor at that time.
So he does it for money, not for love.
Yeah.
I can't blame him. So it's really a successful company now, though? Getting there?
Small company.
Okay. Okay. And so you say it's after you're interviewing after them, their website's well, what about their current website? You'd say it's just really not very good? Any other questions for Petey and Tisha? Awesome. All right. Thank you all. All right. Next, Andrew Jackson.
Already been compared to someone who
Massacred
Native
Native
Americans.
Americans.
You guys are on the $20 building, right?
Unfortunately.
Not for long. I think that'll change at some point.
Yeah, I'm not
There you go. Jackson face coins.
You want to share with everyone?
Yeah, I can share with everyone.
Awesome. Are you guys sharing it as well?
Yeah.
Oh, excellent.
Just so it's easier on you guys.
I think it's way easier than doing the whole like.
Plus, you can kind of move at your own pace.
Exactly. You can look and.
Design,
A+.
innovation.
Is that it?
Yeah, make sure you hit share with everyone.
That's not me. Oh.
Just think about it that way. 11%.
Nice.
I think everyone.
Turn the brightness
I think
down.
everyone can view it.
Are you guys just responding in the same spot?
Yeah, I think it should be there. I don't know if that link works because it looks different than.
Bring your
I'll bring my computer.
it's on.
We'll share. Wait, you want?
Yeah.
Okay.
When you guys are ready. Awesome. Yes, it's viewable.
All right. A lesson in failure. We started out by reaching out to 3 businesses, Something Different, River Birch, and the Middlesex Animal Shelter. We emailed them our pitch, and then we waited a few days, and we wanted to pick local businesses because just we're around here and easy to contact.
So then we ended up choosing the Middlesex Animal Shelter, mostly because it was right down the road, so it was like really local. They had a quick response to us, so it was easiest for us to get started with them. And then Jackson was also interested in volunteer possibilities with them in the center.
Our first interview was with Miss Williams. She's a manager at the animal shelter. She was really kind and sweet. The first interview was just surface level stuff, asking about the amount of dogs. She said that it was pretty usual amount for that time. We talked about if there was she told us any needs, and we just kind of wanted to know what the place looked like. She said there was some damage to the outside shelter, so when there's rain, the dogs don't really have a place to play outside because the pavilion is weathering away. And yeah, so that was just the first interview.
For the second interview, we dug a little deeper. We asked her for stories of the dogs, and there was one story of a dog that had been coming with a lot of worms. He was really in a bad spot, and a couple came in, adopted him, brought him out to Virginia Beach, and he lived a good life before he passed away. And that was something that she really enjoyed about her job. Then we asked her about the impact of COVID, how it affected the shelter, and we found out it was kind of surprising because it has helped out the shelter. A lot more people are looking to adopt dogs because they were lonely over quarantine. So yeah, COVID hasn't really affected them poorly at all.
So she likes taking a dog that came in from a bad situation and bringing it into new life. So she likes transformation and bringing happiness. These things kind of inspire her to work at her job. So we decided to design a puzzle because it takes something complicated, damaged, confusing, and creating it into something better and bringing happiness in while the process is playing out.
Yeah, so this,
Yeah, failures. We ran into many failures over the process. Oh, where's this go? At first, I'll kind of come around to the confusion. We started with this design right here. We started with this, and we first tried cutting this out and realized, oh wait, I didn't put the correct dimensions. And trying to resize the whole entire thing would take too much time and it would mess up the sketch. So then I created this one. And this one, thought it was perfect. Thought it was gonna work just how we wanted to it. I swear there was 3 classes where I came in and I said, today is the day it's gonna work. Today is the day that we are gonna get this thing done. And then the bits broke. When we finally cut it out for this one, the pieces wouldn't match in and it just didn't work overall. So we were like, all right, back to the drawing board. What can I do? What can we do to make this puzzle piece better? So then we created, oh, the computer just went by. Nope, it didn't. Then we created this one. So we took an SVG file from the internet and we just rose it or pulled it up 2.5 millimeters. And we cut it into what we had thought at the time was wood. It was actually plexiglass. And after that, it didn't see, if you can see here, they still don't fit. And our only option was laser printer, but that would have taken up too much time and we were already running out.
yeah, so this entire project like taught us a lot about the design process through the interview, all the way up to inferring what they needed with the puzzle, and then it taught us most about the actual making the product, giving us ourselves enough time, but also making sure what we're doing is feasible, because well, it really wasn't for us. And then yeah, so that was our project.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Questions, these guys. Yeah, I got one here. So what surprised you guys the most about talking with the business or the animal shelter?
Probably the fact that like COVID helped them out. Like I wouldn't have expected that. When we were like, oh, how has COVID affected you guys? She was like, oh, we've actually done really well. Like more people are like coming out, looking at dogs, adopting dogs. It's just something that like you wouldn't really expect.
And I was kind of assuming, asking that question, that they'd have a low task force or a low workforce, and we're not able to keep up with all the dogs that might be coming. So that's what I was kind of assuming, but that did surprise me.
Yeah, see.
Do you guys have any other ideas before the puzzle, or was the puzzle the first thing?
There was a couple ideas, I don't really remember them, but the puzzle one was the one that really stuck.
I think one of them was like a brochure for their lobby for just like some small information on the shelter and things like that.
Where is the animal shelter?
It's actually, I don't know if it says, but it's right down the road. It's right near 7-Eleven down there in Cook's Corner. It's right near there, so it's less than 2 minutes away.
Okay, wow, pretty close.
Yes, it's a local.
Yeah, for sure.
Local
Awesome. Any other questions? Good question. Awesome. All right, Chris. Excellent. And also, thank you for, and I think PD and you guys did this as well. Thank you for not putting too many things on the slides.
Jason Kincaid taught us.
Good. Because I was here for Mr. Arafat's class yesterday. And man, I mean, I guess they're like freshmen, but they were putting literally like 1,000 words on the slide. It was so bad.
Recent news.
Oh man.
Slides.
Yeah, go get. You see Theo anywhere? Tell him to come up.
I can talk for me. I can talk by myself. I don't really care.
Well, I mean, no, only just if it's on your way. Only to see him.
Does he need to like talk for the grade? Because if not, I can just go right now.
Let's
I have
see.
no problem.
Let's see if we can find him first. That would be
He was up. He was up here.
Yeah, right, wasn't he?
Yep.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I thought he came up here. Like, I thought I saw him.
I appreciate you dressing up as well. Some of these other people.
So let's wait on Shane then. Lucas,
Oh, he's dressing.
you're up.
Okay. So the business I interviewed was, okay. It was these oyster guys, the Urbana Seafood Market. Yeah. And basically, first interview, or I started this off by when I was searching for them, I went on like Google Maps and I looked around to find some businesses. And this two people decided that they let me get the interview. I decided upon these guys because they answered first. Yeah, so basically I got my interview in, I think like within the week. And so basically, yeah, you give me a second, I'm trying to think. Okay, basically, I asked a couple things like, what do they like? Do they serve any like food and stuff there? It's like not oysters, and he said that they do clams sometimes, but I decided not to focus on clams, not clams, sorry, crabs. I decided not to focus on crabs because they only do that in like a festival thing. So I decided I'd go mostly for oysters also because I was in urban outdoors, so I have a little bit of experience with oysters and all that. So I decided I'd roll with oysters. Now originally, and basically from my interview, I found out that they already have like a lot of technology stuff there, and something that would be useful for them would be a nice way to grade the oysters. And basically, my first design was going to be like solely on getting the whole like grading the oysters thing, but then I decided to go a little bit more emotional with it and kind of like touch it to the hearts. So I basically decided upon a buff body with an oyster head holding a sign that would give you like a rough estimate on the oyster size. You just like hold your oyster up to it and be like, oh yeah, that's the size. And I had to change it a little bit because I don't think that would have fit in the 3D printer. But essentially that was the design to roll with. Because personally, I believe it was very inspirational to like make people work hard. They can just see a really buff oyster and say, "Oh, I need to work hard to get money." So I think I did a good job there. First design, very very cool design. The next interview, that one took a while because I like could not get my interview in, so I ended up just like texting him to get the interview. So I presented my thing, which let me showcase. All right, so this right here, I don't know if y'all can see this. This is the 3D printed thing. So essentially, I sent him a picture of this, and I asked, or I more or less explained to him like what it is, how you would use it, and all that. I didn't exactly get any like feedback on it, but personally, I think some feedback I could give myself on it was maybe I should make the arms a little bit more like you see them, you think, oh yeah, those are some buff arms instead of like those are some tan cylinders. And I also believe I probably could have made the sign better if it was just 2 oysters on the sign and not 3 to make it simpler. I should have gone with a small and big oyster, not a small, medium, and big oyster, because that confuses things. So basically, there's room for improvement, But I think it's a pretty good design and a pretty good idea. So yeah. Are there any questions about the thing? I guess.
So how big is it? You just kind of like,
I mean, I think it'd be like this big or something.
oh, wow.
I mean, yeah, something like that. Is there any other questions?
Yeah, what surprised you about talking to these people, getting to know them?
I guess what surprised me was that they actually had a lot of like technology stuff there. Like, I asked them
Like digital technology?
yeah, like I asked them if they had like the little like rolly thingy thing that we have, and they said they have one, and you won't believe this. Their little like band thingy works, so they don't gotta like constantly do it manually. Cause that kind of sucked for me.
I don't know what are you talking about?
The oyster thing, right down at the docks, there's like a little cylinder thing, like a little oyster thing with the holes in it. We gotta like manually do that, and that was kind of annoying. And they don't gotta do that. So basically they got that covered up and all that. Like they got it all good, and they got like a whole bunch of other stuff too, which kind of made it so I had to like think about all this and that when deciding what I wanted to do, because they basically already had a whole lot of stuff. So there wasn't exactly a lot of like room for me like trying to make something that they didn't already have.
Mhm.
But I found something. That's the important part.
Oh. Were they, this is just more of an anecdotal question, like, did these guys, because these are Urbana, right?
Yeah.
Have they ever like worked with Christchurch School and anything?
I'm not sure actually.
Were they kind of like taken aback by it or surprised to hear from Christchurch?
I don't know. I guess I didn't get my like interview relatively quick. I just told them, hey, you know, I'm from this school nearby. You wanna give me an interview real quick for a school assignment? And they was like, yeah, sure. Let me get you with this guy real quick. So I never really asked like if they'd interviewed anyone from here before. But I mean, they were like open to let me interview them, so maybe.
Any questions? Awesome, man. Thank you. Cool. All right. Jeff Smith. Do you want to put something on the TV?
I don't have a slide.
That's fine. All right. It was not required.
Okay, so the person I picked to do the project on was the owner of a gym called Ironbound Gym. It's the gym I go to in Williamsburg. The guy's name is Scott Grafton. It was actually the first person I emailed, so that was kind of nice. I picked this business because I thought his business would have been affected by the pandemic the most. I thought it was important to learn how and why it was affected. I interviewed him a total of 3 times. The first interview was just to get to know him and ask questions about the business. It's where I discovered something very interesting. During the pandemic, the gym was trying to keep members happy rather than bring in more members, which led me to think doing something for advertising was out of the question. The second interview was where I asked him certain questions about the gym that led me to figure out his needs. For example, I asked how they were monitoring people coming in the gym, and how they evaluated symptoms for COVID-19. This gave me an idea to build something that addresses this issue, something that could monitor temperature without endangering someone actually taking the temperature. I thought that the person actually taking the temperature comes in contact with everyone who enters the gym. So if someone maybe comes in the gym that is asymptomatic, the
person would obviously get sick, maybe. This led me to think of a way to take a person's temperature remotely, by something like a press of a button from a safe distance. The design starts with some sort of hole coming out of the ground or some kind of a base to head level. This is where a mount for a handheld thermometer on the upper side of the mount. The thermometer is controlled remotely. When someone puts their head near it and the button is pushed, the person's temperature will be shown. The third interview, I presented the product I thought of. He said it would probably cost too much money to build or get from someone. Overall, I learned that the design process ultimately takes time, and you really have to ask the customer these questions about their needs and not just make them look on their website.
Oh, sorry, I'll move to the questions. Do you know if they experienced a loss of customers? I know you said that they focused on not advertising, but, customer
Yeah.
approval. Did they lose any customers in the process?
I'm sure they did. I didn't really touch on that. I just heard that they were trying to rather like keep customers happy rather than add new ones because they have that limit of people in a place at one time. Yeah.
Were there any other like COVID? Well, so did you? I'm curious about the need, like finding that need. Were there any other things that came up like in that interview process about stuff that might help them?
I think it was all about the COVID thing, keeping people like happy and safe.
Have they done some other things along the lines of like keeping customers happy, current ones happy?
Like they have like incentives for like people like coming to the gym certain days of the year. So and, like
Cool.
they're really nice people there, and they kind of like they care about the customers.
Any other questions for Jack? Awesome. All right, thank you. Yeah, I imagine it must be kind of weird for y'all thinking about the like workout industry, like what do you call that? The fitness industry. Because like it's not something that like high school really. I mean, like even if you like do weights and stuff, it's probably like for sports. So it's kind of crazy. I mean, I'm sure it's a probably $50 billion a year industry, and it's it's something that most adults think about and pay money for. But I imagine it's kind of weird for high schoolers to like think about it. Because I know that when I was your age, I was like, why would you pay to go to a gym? That's so stupid. Like,
I pay to go to the gym.
right, but most high schoolers don't, and even college, most college students don't, because you've got one on campus. So,
Campus.
what's that?
We have a campus gym. So that's
Yeah, right. But and that's what I'm saying though. Until you're out of college,
Wait, really? I've
it's
never
not
seen you
something
in
to think
there.
about.
Jackson, why don't you go to the campus gym?
Like once ever. Like imagine that Jackson working out.
I'm nervous.
I mean, as long as you're there, you can.
It's really intimidates me.
Actually, the first time it's really nerve-wracking.
What?
When you're like the smallest person in the gym, you go in there.
All right, well, Shane, why don't you go ahead then? Go.
Good luck, Shmuley.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do you have something you want to share digitally or?
No, I do not.
Okay.
I don't really use my computer, it just makes me look fancier. I already lost just like sweatpants.
Like the shorts, the t-shirt, then.
Thank
Fancy
you.
too.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about that whole part of it.
Did you supposed to dress up?
All right, so
Doesn't hurt.
my project was a little bit different than everyone else's because I wasn't here first trimester and neither was Theo. And so what we did was we were doing the project for a teacher here, and we originally had Miss Wessinger, and then we had Miss Perry, and then neither of them were able to have an interview. And so finally, since Theo has Miss Taylor as a teacher, that's who we chose because he could just go into class time and interview her, which is what we did. And the first interview was an actual interview. Like we were asking her questions, and we found out where she's from, where she goes to college, all that kind of stuff. And then the second the second interview was more of an actual conversation, like back and forth with her, which I would say was probably more helpful than like a standard interview, just because you actually get to know a person because they're talking about what they want to talk about rather than what you're asking them. And so we found out that she is very put together. She's not really a person who has something like a glaring need for something. And if you've been in her classroom, you can see there's a lot of stuff in there. There are not things that she needs to have from someone. And so what we did is we decided that we would ask her about her college time and see if there's anything that we could do to remind her. And it ended up being pretty perfect that this year was her 25th year anniversary from graduating from Dartmouth. And so what we did was we decided to try to do something based off of that, because she goes to every reunion that they have, but there couldn't be one this year because of COVID, so she didn't get any of the special 25th year anniversary things. And so Theo had the idea of doing something like the C&E logo, the movie studios logo, where one side is an E, one side is a C when you shine a light on it from different places. And we kind of had no idea how to do that. And so thankfully, Seaborn and Magnus are very helpful people. Shout out to Seaborn. And we came up with this idea of doing that, both a 25 and a 96, because that's the year she graduated. And it took a long time to figure out how to do this. We went through probably 15 different designs, most of which just look like this, which you kind of can't really tell what it's supposed to be. And then finally, once again, with the help from Seaborn, we were able to get it so that it looked more like this, where you look through it.
You sure you wouldn't just put it on the TV?
I mean, it's kind of too late at this point. And so from this side, it's a 96. And then you turn it. And from this side, it just looks like a 25.
Didn't you print it out?
We did print it out.
You have that with you?
And so I have this with me, but the supports are kind of fused to the insides of it to the point where you can't really take them out without breaking pretty much the entire thing. Like you can see here, there's kind of some meltage to it. So if we redid this project, that's definitely something I would focus on, is making sure it's something that can actually be printed. Yeah, it's focusing on something that can actually be printed. I mean, this looks cool and all in Fusion, but in actuality, it was not that easy to get the supports out, which is something that I was kind of surprised to learn. Like I knew it would have to have supports, but I guess it's just never really something that we thought about.
Question.
Yes.
You said she's been to every reunion they've had.
That's what she said.
How many is that?
I think it was just like 5, or no, I think it was 10 and 20, and then they were gonna do 25, and the next one would be like 50. Yeah,
So
because
she enjoyed going to those.
she does enjoy going. It was a huge part of her life, and like she told us that she still goes up there with her family every year, and she volunteers there over the summer, which is another reason why we wanted to focus on kind of that aspect of her life.
Now, you're still gonna give this to her though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. It's very, very cool. And
Yeah, we'll show her the fusion thing and we'll show her that and be like,
Right, so she'll still appreciate it.
yeah.
So, anybody else want to see it? Anybody else want to? I think it's pretty.
Yeah, it's still pretty cool.
Pretty cool, I think. Yeah. Was white the color you would have gone with? Because you could technically.
We were gonna go green originally. For Dartmouth.
Right.
Not a lot of green filament though.
Yeah. We really only had like lime green or something.
Last question. I think. Anything surprise you about like learning about Miss Taylor? Anything unexpected?
I mean, I'll be honest, nothing really surprised me because I had no idea who she was when we first interviewed her. Because that was probably a month after being here
Sure.
at that point.
She'll bring you. Mhm.
Yeah, and so I just haven't really met the teachers I didn't have or that weren't on hall.
Well, I know I ask. We always have interesting like preconceived notions about people and teachers. So. Awesome. All right. Thanks, Shane.
Thank you.
That. Grant.
Yes. We're actually gonna do it.
Oh, that's right.
during module.
Oh yeah. Oh okay. So Grant, you're okay for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Boo.
All right. I guess
I don't know.
Shane. It's so impressive. I don't want to follow that up.
Yes. My very prepared presentation.
All right, Parker, you're up. Parker, do you have something you wanted to share digitally, or you want to keep feeding on? Okay.
We interviewed Melissa Moss, a lawyer from South Carolina that moved to Virginia. Before she had her kids, concealed from law office in Foster, Virginia. Melissa told us her job isn't that easy, because she's a lawyer. And she told us that people don't always want to pay her, like after she say something going to jail or fine whatever time. So she has to get people to help her get those assets, which could be houses, money, jewelry, anything else. So for her, we created like a room of file holder, so she had like all the different files and not just spread over all the guests like she does now. And after we showed it to her, she really liked the idea of it because it would help her get all the files off her desk.
So this is really, really interesting. Like, so what kind of law? It's just she helps people stay out of prison, or
She's a defense attorney or something like
do you know what kind of cases she usually works? She talked about it at all?
that. Not really. She didn't really go too deep into that. I think it's mostly just like DUIs and stuff like that.
Okay. So, and then you said people just weren't following up on like invoices, basically.
Like she had one guy who owed her a house for, I think he was getting a DUI and he wouldn't pay it. So she had to go get one of somebody else to help her with it.
And so you're saying that the government, when that happens, they take other assets then? Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, they repossess your stuff.
I mean,
Especially if you have a loan out.
I mean, I don't think it's just like that. I think you can set it up that way and that's how she has it. So it's like collateral.
oh. Yeah, I didn't know that was a thing. I thought it would just like you take out a loan or something. I didn't realize like they would just come take your house or something.
And they'd be in debt.
Yeah. Interesting.
But you can't sell the house for like as much as you want. You can only sell it for this certain amount that they owe.
Really? Because this happens a lot?
That's all Casey was telling me.
My goodness.
So that's like
That'd be a bad week.
The city owns like 10 of your house repossessed.
Probably gonna give you a house friend.
Lose your life.
I was thinking.
It's like a refrigerator.
So did she seem like, did you get when you were talking to her, did you get the sense that like she was an unorganized, messy person?
Not really. She kind of like seemed like she had everything like on point. She knew what was going on around there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Interesting. I wonder how I feel if someone just assumed I'm a messy or an unorganized person. Because messy, yes. I don't know about unorganized. Those are different things.
A method to your madness.
Yes, something like that. And where did you say your office is?
It's in Gloucester Courthouse.
Gloucester. Oh, I think you said Foster. I was like, where's Foster, Virginia? Gloucester, got it.
Gloucester Courthouse is a different town than Gloucester.
Right, is it?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, so Gloucester.
It's just a place in it.
You fool.
Any
A
locals?
little traditional Virginia history, but a lot of places, like, their courthouse and like the rest of the county are like separated by district. I don't know.
That's odd.
Yeah.
That gerrymander.
Cool
is
Seymour
what that is.
Thank you, Seaborn.
Yeah, that's true. Seaborn is Virginia native as well. Parker, you're a Virginia native as well. Any other questions for Parker? Excellent, thanks, sir. Let's see. So, check. So, if anybody wants to come back to see Will and
You should put
Grant,
the Dartmouth logo on the bottom.
you can do that. All right, so,
That would have been supported.
wait, let me go shut this off.
Think about what it done support.
Yeah,
What?
here, if you.
I would have, you should just unscribe the logo on the bottom.
I mean, you could, but yeah, right here, you see the
Yes.
melted to the bottom of it.